CNN's Dana Bash tried to corner Jim Jordan over a number of issues, and as you'll see in the clip that I'm about to show you, Jordan absolutely shuts down the narrative that she is trying to push. What is utterly stunning is that these liberal media heads cannot seem to grasp the reality that the American people can see right through their biased, dishonest talking points that they've been spewing for the last 8 years. Check this out. It starts with Bash trying to stoke the narrative that Donald Trump is the tyrant out to seek revenge on his political opponents, and it then moves to the 2020 election results. And you're going to want to hear Jim Jordan's answer. Let's watch.
But the Democrats went after him.
I know, but I'm talking about Donald
what
Trump's
they did is
second
wrong.
term.
I mean,
going forward. Since then, he has said many
I don't
times.
think any of that's going to happen because we're the party who's against political prosecution. We're the party who's against going after your opponents using lawfare. In fact, I think this is one of the issues that the
So it was just
said,
a campaign rhetoric? It wasn't real?
Well, I think he's pointing out what's going on. The retribution. Actually, Liz Cheney on January 6th went after President Trump, said things that weren't accurate, I think, in their report. The other individuals he's talked about have been part of this retribution going after President Trump. Never forget, it started clear back before he was in office. They spied on his campaign in 2016.
I am not talking about...
for 8 years, they've been going after President Trump.
He won.
He sure did. He won big.
He won big. So my question, and what people want to know, is what he is going to do looking
I think
forward.
He's going to do.
Just for example, 2 days ago, he called for investigations into anyone spreading rumors.
I think he's going to secure the border. I think he's going to get rid of this crazy inflation that's hurting middle class and working class families, hurting our economy. I think he's going to get back to common sense energy policy. I think he's going to focus on protecting the First Amendment. I mean, think about this. Did you ever think you would see Donald Trump, Elon Musk, RFK Jr., and Tulsi Gabbard on the same team? They were on the same team because of the attack on free speech, the attack on the First Amendment. He's going to focus on those things that the American people elected him to do.
Okay.
Jordan's answer perfectly illustrates, obviously, which side of the political aisle is more in tune with the American people right now. How can Bash not understand that it is the left that has waged lawfare against their political opponents? It is the left that is the party of censorship. And this Trump, Vance, Musk, Tulsi, RFK Jr., etc. dream team is the party of freedom and common sense in America. This is why the American people overwhelmingly voted for Trump in this election. Trump had more votes in 2020, which Jim Jordan questions here. And speaking of winning the election big, let's watch.
It seems to me that Republicans claim voting fraud and election integrity when you lose and not when you win.
No. I mean, again, as I said before, this election, I think, was the greatest political comeback we've ever seen. I mean, he did something that even Teddy Roosevelt couldn't do, for goodness sake. And the country...
But you think it was a free and fair election?
No. This election, you just interviewed the Latino, I think, restaurant owner or a restaurant worker, and he said he was tired of all the woke stuff. This election was real simple. You had back-to-back administrations. We got something we very seldom get in American history, American politics. Back-to-back administrations now running for the top job, and people could do a direct comparison. And they said, we like what we had under President Trump versus...
But last time around,
we like the safe streets versus the record
last
crime.
time around, your leader claimed that there were problems with
secure
fraud.
border versus the open border.
Right, those are policies.
That's what this election was about.
That's totally fair. But last time around, it wasn't so much about the policy differences or the personality differences. There were false claims about election fraud when Donald Trump lost. This time, Donald Trump won, and you think the election was free and fair. Do you see there's a little bit of a...
No, I think the Democrats got to ask, why did we
there?
go from getting 81 million to getting 70 million? What happened to those 10 million people? Maybe they needed. Maybe it's not smart to run an election where you have no vision, no record to run on.
Do you believe
that
the 2024 election was free and fair?
I do.
And why was it different from 2020 when he lost? Is that the only difference?
No, there were concerns about 2020 with all the mail-in voting that happened. You know, Pennsylvania had like 2-point-something million mail-in ballots come in without any signature verification, which was required under Pennsylvania statute. So there were all kinds of concerns with how the 2020 election was carried out. But
there was absolutely
the biggest question Democrats need to be asking: what happened to the 10 million voters that Joe Biden got that didn't come out for Kamala Harris? A bunch of them President Trump's numbers were right up where they were in 2020, but the Democrats were much lower. I think it's because they had no vision, no record to run on, and they just wanted to call everyone names. Turns out when you tell people, oh, you're fascist, racist, deplorable, garbage, they don't like that. And then when you use lawfare to go after their candidate, they don't like that either.
Well,
that's why they came out. So on top of the economy, on top of the price of gas, on top of the inflation, that's why they voted for President Trump.
We're out of time.
You see, I don't fully agree with Jordan here. We cannot let the left off the hook on this. It was too big to rig for Kamala Harris to win. But the 2024 election was still rigged. It was cleaner because we had better election laws in place, especially in the swing states, but the left still waged significant lawfare against Trump to cripple his campaign and drain his finances. The media coverage was incredibly biased in favor of Kamala Harris. And let's not forget, Donald Trump was almost assassinated twice. We need to stay vigilant.